Hey, this is Tom Waltz, IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle writer, and you have jumped inside the pool bag.
Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the Back Issue Classics are also what's in The Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to Back Issue Classics, episode 68. Yeah, 68, because Dark Gem Part 2 was 67. And I know in Dark Gem Part 2 and in the After Dark, I had mentioned that the pull bag was going to be taking a quick hiatus, and we still are. But wanted to kind of get our TMNT coverage to 60 issues, as issues 59 and 60 of the IDW ongoing comic are now out. Joining me, as always, is Joe Reed. Hello.
Hello.
And we are recording this in the middle of SDCC, or SD,
Yes.
SDC, that's there's too many initials sometimes. SDCCCCC, who knows? We're recording this on the Saturday evening of SDCC, and it'll probably be out about 2 weeks after the fact, but we are here. We are talking about Turtles. We start with issue 59. The story so far: the Turtles return from their adventure on Burnout Island to find their father attacked by Kitsune. And the main title page here with the creative team, obviously Kevin Eastman, Bobby Cornell, Tom Waltz, Dave Wachter is on art again, Rhonda is on colors, Sean Lee is lettering, and obviously Bobby is editing. This title page shows all 5 covers. We have the regular cover, which is Jenica and Alopex basically fighting. The art is done by Dave Wachter. We have the retail incentive, which is done by Michael Walsh. Subscription cover art done by Kevin Eastman. Colors by Tommy Varga. The Anastasia collectible exclusive is done by Alex Kotkin. Colors by Ula Moss. And Eastman Fan Club Edition, KevinEastmanStudios.com, art by Kevin Eastman. Looking at these 5 covers, I normally, and it's not because I don't like the man, but normally I'm not a fan of the Eastman style, but the subscription cover just really, the whole Kitsune thing with the bringing out of the monsters and everything out of, oh man, that is so cool. What cover do you like the best?
That's tough, because I'm not attached to any one of them in particular. I think the closest one is the Anastasia Collectibles cover by Alex Kotkin. Mm-hmm. That's just the good colors, kind of iconographic with iconic versions of the Turtles. There we go.
There you go.
And it's not bizarre. I have been talked into by one of my buddy comic shop owners that I'm probably going to sign up to the Kevin Eastman fan club before he comes to the Comic-Con locally. There's a badge that you get when you sign up to that I don't know. I don't want to say it gets you favors at cons, but it might. You might be first in line or in a different line than the regular things to get autographs, or there might be prints that are only those folks can get. So I'm going to do it, and it gets you one of the limited issues autographed. So you know what? Okay, I'll do it. I not yet, soon, within maybe a month, but
I mean, I love Dave Wachter's regular cover with Jenica and Alopex. I think that's great. I think that's continuing the style of the cover A, the regular covers that Mateus had been doing, which is kind of cool. But it just, as soon as I saw that Kitsune subscription cover from Eastman, I'm like, that's kind of badass. So getting into 59, we left off with Splinter being attacked by Kitsune, and Raph, Mikey, and Leo were there.
Don was still back on Burnout Island wrapping up the Leatherhead Utrom business.
Right, yep. So we then cut to earlier before that happened. I gotta say, so far, for Dave Wachter, his Splinter is probably one of the better versions of driving. He doesn't look like a dog here. And you look at the panel on the page where Jenica says, "Yes, Master, please forgive my ignorance." He looks pretty much like a rat with a Fu Manchu.
That poor rat's probably got to give so many people trouble.
Yeah, he probably does. Yeah, well, he's been giving people trouble for 5 years. So we then go to, in the comic, we have a discussion between Kitsune and Splinter.
A little bit of verbal sparring in there that's kind of entertaining. He's calling bluffs. She's trying to get one over on him. He lets her know that, oh yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very cool. And we see in the bottom part of that panel, we see the 3 symbols there, the fox, the phoenix, and the snake. I assume that's a phoenix.
I don't remember. It's the neutral sister.
Yeah, essentially, yes. We then have Splinter talking to Angel and April. Meanwhile, Kitsune is infusing Alopex with evil.
Getting into that fox mind control business.
Yep. I mean, I just love Wachter's art with these 2 characters, specifically with Jenica and Alopex. They look so cool. And that one panel on page 10 at the top where it's Alopex and Kitsune, it's kind of like a face-off image. Oh, I love the juxtaposition of that. They've always done, doesn't matter what artist is doing that. I mean, Dave Wachter is doing it here. He does it great. Every time they've done something like that kind of half and half face to make a whole, you know what I mean? So I've just always loved that in this series when they do that. So as the comic goes along, we get Kitsune basically getting the Foot Ninjas to go after Splinter. And I love... We really need to get Rhonda on here. Oh, Rhonda Pattison. The colors on the page where Splinter jumps into action. The top part of the
I would love to talk to her.
Yeah. The top part of the panel is yellow with Splinter in orange on one part, and then the middle is red, and then there's a whole collusion of all the yellow, red, orange colors of the whole background in this panel is just so friggin' cool. Both of these pages, I wish this was a giant splash page. I'm hoping it is. Because we're viewing these on the IDW server review copies, folks. So for me, they're individual image type things. So, but it looks like going back and forth between these 2 panels of this giant fight. It looks like it could be one awesome splash page. So Jenica tries to defend Splinter, and then we get Alopex going after Jenica with Kitsune controlling her, and this is where the turtles kind of come in. Yeah, this whole issue was a fight.
Both mental and spiritual, I think you get it on both ends.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, did it seem like it went too fast for you?
Yeah, and I'll say for this issue and the next as well, it goes pretty quick.
I mean, because it doesn't... I mean, technically, this is cleaning up after Leatherhead, which we have Dawn off doing that.
And this most of this arc was happening while the Turtles were doing the Krang thing too, so it is a half flashback, and I mean, not literally flashback because it catches up with us, but...
Yeah, it catches up at the end, but most of this like starting to the point where, what is it, which page is it? On page 3 or 4, on page 2 is when the flashback starts, and then the flashback goes to the end.
When we catch up.
And it's a really cool story way of flashback, but as we're going through this, and as I'm trying to unsuccessfully summarize it, it because it turns into a giant fight, and there's not really a lot of story. How are you gonna do character development or character growth when Splinter is kicking the Foot Clan's ass because he has to save his own life and Jenica's life from Kitsune? And then you have, like I said, Alopex coming in, which I absolutely love how they're using her with that. And then the final page here is the Turtles come in and see that Splinter is down.
Just got stabbed.
Yep.
I think there's, in the next, 10, 15 issues, we're going to see a lot of guilt coming from Alopex. I'm assuming they'll win her back, and maybe she'll try to run away, and like, no, I don't want to, I'm so sorry because I did all this horrible stuff, and through that we'll have the two of them coming together again, Raph and Alopex, and is building a
absolutely
relationship.
That'd be awesome.
That's my guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. I mean, I like Kitsune as a character, but we've had her. I mean, I always try not to be overly critical of the IDW team because I have faith in what they're doing. But I just want this Kitsune story to, not wrap up, but get somewhere. Like, I understand Bobby and Tom and Kevin are all about the long game and planning for the long road ahead, and that's great. I absolutely love that. I'm that way too a lot of times. But it just seems to me that these two issues, 59 and 60 to a lesser extent, but 59 specifically, it's like we've already had her here the whole time, and she's been planning and plotting and whatever else, and this is kind of her enactment of her plan. But at the same time, it's just a giant fight scene.
It's bothersome to me, in a good way, in a literature way, that she's been this undercurrent through the whole series, and she's been so creepy that I think you're right. There is a bit of I'm creeped out enough by her fatigue. Like we want the wrap up for this, and man, I wonder if she's just going to end up being ultimately the big bad, throughout all of the issues. I mean, all the way to 100 or however far they go, but I don't know. So I'm only fatigued because she is so creepy, and we still don't know what she wants, even after 60 issues.
Well, we do kind of know what she wants. I mean, after issue 60, we know what she wants, but she doesn't exactly get it, and that's really creepy.
Well, she wants that. But we can't. I don't know why. I don't know what her plans are with that whole thing.
The only thing, and we'll get into it here in a minute with issue 60. The only thing I can think of her plans with quote unquote that is that she wants to resurrect a certain somebody.
To what end? I mean, like, what does that get her? But I guess we'll spend more time on that when we get there.
Yeah, I know, and I understand that, and I'm just saying it's like at the same time, to what end? But what other? And I know there are a million other TMNT villains that they could bring in, as long as Nickelodeon says sure or yay, we have rights for this or whatever else. But really, at some point, status quo has to go back to normal, doesn't it? I would assume.
Well, we'll talk more about that at the end of the next issue.
Yeah. All right. So number 59, issue 59, 0 to 5 stars. What are you going to give 59?
Solid, strong 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
Okay.
8 out of 10. What do we? 5?
Yeah. 4 out of 5 is 8 out of 10. Yes. Or 9. Well, technically it's I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. So 0 to 5 stars for me. I got to give it a 3.5. It's not a bad score out of 5, but it just like, I don't know. I was wanting, like, we got so much story. We got like 80% story, 20%. I'm probably fudging the numbers here, but in the Leatherhead arc, throughout the arc, we got more story in 3 issues than we did in each of the 3 issues. More story than we did here, because this is ending up as the giant fight scene thing. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 for me. All right, issue 60. The story so far: Kitsune has taken advantage of the turtles' time away to strike. With brainwashed Alopex and Foot Elite at her command, she attacks Splinter. The turtles return a moment too late. Eastman, Kernow, Waltz on writing, Tom's on script, Dave Wachter is on art, Rhonda's on colors, Sean Lee's on letters, Bobby's the editor. Once again, oh no, this time we have 6 covers. Oh boy. Okay. So, regular cover is done by Dave Wachter. Retail incentive cover is done by Damian Cicero. Subscription cover is done by Eastman with colors by Tommy Varga. Convention exclusive cover, it doesn't say which. I'll have to look at the actual image. It doesn't say on the page here. Oh, San Diego. San Diego.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
The SDCC convention exclusive cover art by Kevin Eastman and Freddie Williams II. And then the Eastman Fan Club edition is done by Kevin Eastman. Out of these, I kind of like the retail incentive one.
Yeah, Damian Cusero. How do we say that yet? Have we figured that out?
Yeah,
I do like that. That's almost what I would like my animated Turtles to be.
Yeah,
maybe in a DC style hour-and-a-half animated movie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I like that one, but I also do like Dave Wachter's regular cover with the
that is quite good too.
That's badass.
I hope that's the one that I have. Oh wait, we haven't bought that yet because it's not time.
As of this recording, we haven't
go buy it.
You can go buy it now, but as of the recording, we have not bought it yet. So we start this one off.
We didn't steal it, guys. We're journalists. It counts. We get that. They hook us up.
They sent it to us. So.
We're legal.
Yes.
I'm impressed, and I can't figure out how the 2 Kevin Eastman covers, convention exclusives, art by Kevin Eastman and Freddie Williams II. I don't know how much of each of them is in that, but it's amazing. They're both really good, and those will probably be 2 that I find a way to track down, one or the both.
Yep. So we start. It doesn't actually give. It's somewhere in the past.
I think this is the reason we don't get a time on that. That this is a fable.
Okay.
It's not a real, but it's a story.
Okay. So basically, we get the first 2 opening pages are this story about the fox and the hunter, essentially.
And I was waiting for this to be the fable that explained it, but there are Japanese stories about foxes with multiple tails, and I think it's a 9-tailed fox means something in drawings. The first panel opens up with a Japanese archer on horseback, spotting a white 4-tailed fox in the woods.
Right. Yeah. I love this, because to me, honestly, I know people are going to cringe when I say this, it almost reminds me of Turtles 3.
Yeah, when you go back to ancient Japan with the Turtles, us old-timers, we automatically think, that unfortunate movie.
Yeah, that poor unfortunate movie.
So in this fable, the fox is, on somebody's land, and it's important that it not be there because it eats things. The archer loads up some noise-making arrows, not to kill the fox, because, you don't do that, but noisemaker arrows to scare it away, and he accidentally hits it with the noisemaker arrow, injures it, limps away, and then disappears. But the horseman comes back later, and that same 4-tailed fox is back with a torch and burns down his house, kind of as revenge. And mystically, we see that fox shape change into a very familiar form
of Kitsune.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I hope I have not been saying her name wrong for the past 3 years that we've been doing
I don't
this.
think that's wrong. A fully fledged Japanese person would probably say that better. But
Yeah.
I think our vowels are right, and I think our emphasis is right.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah.
So we get the end of the story here where Kitsune says, beings like that exact swift revenge. It is better, what's she say? It's better to leave them alone. And we actually see her. Like, I think we saw her stab Splinter in 59,
Yeah.
but like this is full on panel. Like she's, yeah. And then obviously Leo, Mikey, and Raph's reactions.
That's a beautiful panel too.
It is. Leo looks shocked. Mikey and Raph. I don't think I've ever really seen Mikey look like in this series. I know he's had his emotional changes and things like that, but I don't think I've ever really seen Mikey's angry face, and that's his angry face.
That's Raph over there who's angry.
No, yeah, on the left, but look at Mikey on the right.
Mikey, I don't think that looks angry.
It looked angry to me.
I think the...
Because Raph always has the angry face. I mean, it's just obvious, but... Because, that's the reason why I say I think Mikey has the angry face, is because, the next panel, get off my dad!
I like that, and whips the thing around her neck and...
Yep.
The grappling hook. That's a very Ninja Turtles animated series, old school grappling hook.
That's a huge homage. I mean, you look at that thing, Barry Gordon Donatello made that, in layer. Maybe it opens up and becomes the Turtle Com. So we get more of Jenica facing Alopex, and we get to basically Splinter saying to Raphael, the witch is the only enemy here, and they go after Kitsune.
Splinter is not dead, even though he got stabbed quite deeply in the heart.
Yeah,
he's surviving so far.
He's surviving so far. And we get more, let's see here, we get, I know. This is what makes this issue so interesting, folks. We assume that Raph is helping, but this is where Kitsune's mind control starts coming in. She first gets Raph under her control. He then stabs Mikey, and then she puts Mikey under her control. So now she's controlling 2 out of the 4. Donnie's not even there yet. And then she tries her best to get Leo, but she can't. Jenica and
Leo's
Alopex
been there, and he knows how to fight her mind control.
Jenica and Alopex are still fighting. And then we go to April in the library.
Put the brakes on.
Turn into the skid. Into the skid, please. And the giant Phoenix lady.
Akka.
Yeah, Akka. See, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to call her AKA. So Akka shows up and gives April a feather and some words of wisdom. We go back to the fight. Now, see, this is what I don't mind about fight scenes in this like I said with last issue, it turned into a giant fight scene with not a lot of dialogue in it. I mean, yeah, Kitsune was talking and whatever else, but it was just her, Splinter, Jenica, and Alopex. With the Turtles here, we all know the Turtles are all about the puns. All about, talking while fighting in any incarnation. So this is why I love seeing this now, and just seeing how Splinter has to, sadly, basically beat up his kids to get them to stop with the mind control. And then Kitsune seems to think this is something she can exploit, so the rat would consume his young after all.
And I like that he's putting pressure point things on all of them. You know, maybe he'll smack him around to get him into position, but then it's like poof, that one little point, and he's getting him, and then like it looks kind of like a Vulcan nerve pinch is what he's doing before they can like and then fall over.
Splinter's rat pinch.
Yes, yeah.
What do you think so far of how the story is progressing with the mind control and how the art's constantly changing from page to page here?
Is it changing?
Well, not the style, but like the colors and the way that, like, you know, you go from the library page to you start at the page with the Turtles, Splinter, and Alopex, and then you go, or it's Turtles, Splinter, and Kitsune. You go to the page with Alopex, and because it's different, it's different environments as we go, and then we go to the library, and it's all different colors because it's different. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just asking you what you think of the overall.
Each panel individually is colored well. There are color flourishes that I know that Rhonda has masterfully done before that aren't present here. Not everything needs to be like that, but they are. I will say that they are a bit jarring now that you've said that it's missing. Yeah. It's missing an elegant flow of colors, or it's missing the consistent colors on the whole page, except for that beautiful splash image in the middle. And that could more come from not a symptom of the coloring, but a symptom of just the page layout. That might not be aiding itself to those interestingly composed color things.
Yeah, I am loving me some mind control turtles.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I think it's just so fun because, again, you have the turtles with their all four of them have interesting personalities to them. They have fully developed personalities to them, and as Splinter is basically, cutting his way through his ilk here, we have all these different outcomes, and then Donatello comes home.
Pop out of the world. What?
Yeah. More food for the fodder. Food fodder, Donnie? No.
Oh, that was easy. Like in his head. Boop.
Yep. And I love the panel at the bottom. I will deal with Donatello. Oh, Donatello and Splinter. And then there's something so cool, like, I know you don't remember this very much, but the opening 5-parter, there's a point where they're all sparring the 87 series. And it's, who is it? It's Michelangelo and Leonardo who are doing it, I believe, and they're just kind of going at it, and Raph and Donnie are just kind of like not really doing that much. And that's what this bottom panel reminded me of, is that sparring training that they used to do in the old animated series. So Jenica is about to get her neck cut or her throat cut, and luckily Leo stops that because he's already broken the spell here, but he underestimates Kitsune a little bit here, because she then says to Alopex that, hey, it's a bear!
Bear! And then she goes nuts on Leo, but Leo pretty quickly takes care of her.
We get to more of Donnie and Splinter fighting, and Donnie, you can clearly tell he does not want to do this, and I know that Splinter doesn't want to do this either, but that's probably the best tail grab of a bow staff I've ever seen. That is awesome. It's not often that we've seen Splinter fight before in the series, but it's not often we see him use it. I can't remember the last time I saw him use his tail.
I think the only time that's ever happened that I can recall immediately is the first computer-generated movie. Let me take that back, because that means TMNT. The Michael Bay produced Transformers.
The 2014 film. Yeah.
Oral typos. Yes, the 2014 film. He does that with
Yeah.
with a
No. I'm
but
saying
not in the comic.
comic is something that I don't
I
remember.
don't think it's happened here. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that it has, I want him to do it all the time because that was just so cool.
And then he chokes Donatello out. He
Yeah.
doesn't nerve pinch him like he did the others. That I feel bad. Donnie got it. Donnie got it hard. Donnie will have a headache when he wakes up.
Oh yeah. Oh, my aching head. So we get Splinter and Kitsune back and forth with Jenica, and then April shows up with a feather and does some mystical mumbo jumbo to Kitsune that makes her run away.
Yeah, it's vague.
It's okay. So
It's so vague. I'm like, dang it! I want to know what happened and why.
Yeah.
And
So what I can infer from this issue to this point is Akka showed up because Akka wants Kitsune to not succeed. She gives April this magical feather thing. And the first time I saw it, I'm like, hey, where's Forrest Gump when you really need him? Because it is a giant white feather. April comes in, does this incantation. Powers of creation, masters of all, hear my lamentations. Heed my call, restore eternity's balance, turn wrong into right, end this day's malice, cast darkness into light. And basically, Kitsune just kind of turns into a fox.
And runs away.
Yeah, turns into a fox, run away. And Leo's like, whoa, it really worked. April, how the heck did you do that? I have no idea. White magic. White magic. So we get more of the turtles coming up here with the conversation. Let's see. It was Kitsune. She decided to take the war to the next level, I guess. War? What war? Her family's war. Long story. And apparently Alopex is gone again.
Yeah, she came to and is feeling super guilty.
Yep. So we then go to Kitsune, who runs to a helicopter or jet plane or some sort of plane with a giant ass hanger in it. And she thinks she's gotten away with something. Because she has all these foot soldiers near her. Because she can still control the foot elite. Yeah, the foot elite. And sorry, people, they're screaming. There's never normally screaming kids outside. Hear them. Little wretches. So she thinks she's gotten away with something in this box.
Yeah, we can see there's a little box, and then there's a long coffin-shaped thing in the bed of this large helicopter.
Oh, well played, Hamato Yoshi. Well played indeed.
Oh, the helmet was in.
Yeah, the helmet was in her box, and he has the skull of Oroko Saki.
Bum, bum, bum.
To be continued. Dun, dun, dun. Issue 60? 9 times better. I'm sorry, 59. I enjoyed 59, but I enjoyed 60 more because there was more turtles in it. You got Donnie coming back, and you got basically father versus sons. You got more of Jenica and Alopex. You got Kitsune doing her thing. You've got the beginning part of the flashback of the store, the fables. It's just, oh god, issue 60 was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Any other overall thoughts before we rate this one?
There were definitely more questions answered, or I don't know. No, I don't want to say questions answered because I still have the same questions. I think there was just more happening in this issue. It wasn't set up. It was like, this is where it goes down, and right. I appreciated that. Yeah. It's like it went a good type of fast, a good kind of fast.
Absolutely. What would you rate issue 60?
4.5.
I gotta give it a straight 5. Mm-hmm. I loved every minute of it. Everything in this issue was paced well. There was no slow moments. There was no moments where I wanted to skip ahead. Seeing Donnie come back, and that's the thing they've been doing since 50, and I don't mind it. 51, 52 was kind of Mikey's story, and that, his whole dealing with, which I don't think we've still have not really dealt with it, whether he's back, or...
we don't know
yeah,
yet.
'cause I don't think we've really dealt with that yet. I think he's back right now because they need him to be back.
I think he's back now because they just got back to New York about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, there is that, too, but you know what I mean, like... He was off on his own for 2 issues and whatever else. I don't remember, and this is a while ago, so yeah, I really don't remember how, we just got through 10 issues of the comic in the past however many months that we've been doing this for this year. So I don't remember, I remember 51 and 52 and why he left and all that, but I don't remember if they ever really resolved anything.
I think they did. I almost wonder if once this relaxes a bit, like here's my number, we're still not done.
Yeah. All right, folks, we are going to take a quick break, come back with at the point of you hearing this, it'll be a post-San Diego Comic-Con announcement, but we're going to talk about it like it just happened yesterday, so we'll be back after this.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The GEEK-STUFF Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or 2.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or GeekCastRadio.com.
Well, I am shocked and dismayed. Well, now you can't be both. You be shocked, I'll be dismayed.
Coming in 2016, Steve Megatron and myself, TF2 and Mike, bring you a brand new TV review show. Welcome to Podcaster Meets World. That's right, we're launching a Boy and Girl Meets World review podcast here on the GCRN. It'll take us 70 episodes of the podcast to review all 158 episodes of Boy Meets World. After that, we will tackle Girl Meets World. You can find Podcaster Meets World on GeekCastRadio.com and iTunes starting late summer, early fall 2016. So come on and walk through the world with us.
I love the thing they call.
Do you like retro cartoons? Then Saturday Morning Rewind is the podcast for you. Join them each month as they talk about classic cartoons and interview legendary voice actors like Jim Cummings.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Corey Burton.
Sometimes toys can be so flighty.
Rob Paulson.
Sure, Blaine, but how are we going to find chaps our size?
Nancy Cartwright and many more.
Eat my shorts.
So grab a bowl of Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
Put on your hammer pants. Go to SaturdayMorningRewind.com. And be prepared to feel like a kid again. Once again, that's SaturdayMorningRewind.com. Saturday Morning Rewind was voted Best Podcast Ever by its host, Tim Nidell. So it's gotta be good.
I know what we're doing today.
Okay, Michael, if we're going to tackle this podcast thing, we've got to do something really special. It has to be cool, daily, in audio form, and undetectable by radar. Something that screams summer. I know, let's do a Phineas and Ferb review podcast. We'll call it the Podcast Organization Without a Cool Acronym, or POWCA for short. What do you think?
I think if we're not careful, Candace is going to bust us.
You can find POWCA on the GeekCast Radio Network, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and all of the other methods you find podcasts.
Okay, then. Carry on.
All right, folks, we are back here in the Pullbag Back Issue Classics episode 67 here inside the Pullbag. And I know people are probably tired of this, but I'm still going to go through them anyway. We do have the October solicitations, October 2016 from IDW. But in case anyone doesn't remember, I'm going to remind you about the first 3 issues. The first 3 issues of the arc for Street Phantoms for Turtles. It's 61 through 63. Issue 61 is out in August. Issue 62 is out in September, and issue 63 is out in October. Turtles 61, Waltz, Eastman, Kernow, Dave Wachter is... Oh, Dave Wachter's doing... Oh, no, he's only doing through 61. Okay, the art changes after 61, all right. So, Chasing Phantoms Part 1. While the Turtles and Splinter are still reeling from the events of TMNT 60, they come under attack by the Street Phantoms. Will Splinter let this challenge to his rule stand? Bullet points on 61, plus the secret love life of Harold... Yeah, I'm not even saying his last name. Oh, boy. So that's in August. And then we have, also in August, we've got Volume 3 of the IDW collection, which we already talked about. Volume 3 collects issues 21 to 28 of the City Fall arc. And then I said 21 to 28, right? Yeah, 21 to 28. And then it collects Old Hob, Alapex, Karai, Hun, Bebop, and Rocksteady, and Shredder Micro Series one-shots, plus the 2012 annual. And then we get Universe number 1, which we've already talked about. And then we get 62, which is in September, Chasing Phantoms Part 2. One ally close to the Turtles faces grave danger, while another makes a choice that will alter his life forever. Meanwhile, the Turtles wonder if their path truly lies with the Foot Clan. Dun, dun, dun. Danger lurks everywhere. That's the only bullet point for that one. We're going to be getting, let's see here. Also, I believe in September we get the trade for Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. That's going to be an awesome book to pick up, folks. That's going to be an awesome
trade, yeah.
Yep.
You know what I haven't noticed happen, at least in the couple of stores that I frequent, I haven't seen the values on that creeping up like I thought I was going to. I suspected that was going to be another hidden gem special thing. Everybody wants it, like the Batman Turtles. And I still feel like that arc is going to be special. So it's still possible to get a hold of.
Oh yeah, right now, according to the solicits, it's got an MSRP of $20 for the trade. And then we get Turtles Universe number 2. Let's see, the Turtles are trapped and surrounded by the government. With them, one of their least favorite people in the world, Baxter Stockman. Will the unlikely allies find a way to work together and live to fight another day? Bullet points for this. Kevin Eastman and Bill Sienkiewicz's astounding backup story continues. The new TMNT ongoing is off and running. Variant cover by Antonio Fuso. Also in September we get Volume 15 of the ongoing, entitled Leatherhead. Collects issues 56 to 60. So that's cool. Let's see here. So in October, this is the one we haven't talked about yet. Waltz, Eastman on writing, I'm assuming Bobby's on writing as well. Wachter is back on art. Chasing Phantoms Part 3. With an ally in danger, the Turtles look for a new way to defeat the Street Phantoms. Will the Turtles be able to do what it takes to save the Foot Clan?
Not used to hearing those words yet.
And the only bullet point other than variant cover by Eric Jones, the bullet point for the story, a dangerous turning point. No, it's like, come on, give us a little bit more. Don't, spoil it, but give us something. Also in October, we're getting Universe number 3. Cornered and injured, the Turtles have no escape from the forces aligned against them. Raphael must learn to compromise with his enemy if any are to survive. Bullet points for Universe number 3. Unrelenting action in the new TMNT ongoing series. Eastman and Sienkiewicz's astounding backup story continues. Variant cover by Ryan Lee. Very cool, very cool. But we have something else very cool to talk about here, folks. As I said earlier, it was announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2016. We will be getting Batman TMNT Adventures. So this is from Nerdist. This is from Nerdist.com. I'm going to read this word for word verbatim, so I have it correct. The story will follow Batman in the style we know and love from Batman the Animated Series in his pursuit of the usual band of foes after they break free. as they always seem to do, from the confines of Arkham Asylum. The assorted criminals will find their way across cannons into New York City, where bats will have no choice but to call upon the help of the pizza-loving goofballs devoted to keeping the Big Apple safe. It won't only be Batman's foes who stand in the way of justice, however. The Turtles' collective of enemies will step in to ensure the longevity of this new taste of chaos, and, of course, we're likely to see some contribution from the heroes' pals. Perhaps Robin, Alfred, and Commissioner Gordon will lend a hand, ditto on April and Casey. Just as Batman has a pretty standout year on the big screen, so have the Ninja Turtles, with Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows endeared to fans and more than a few critics. Likewise, the Turtles are currently living large on Nickelodeon, where their eponymous animated series is presently in the midst of its 4th season. The inceptive 32-page issue, the first of 6 altogether, so this is a 6-issue run, another 6-issue miniseries, will run you $3.99 and should hit stores November 9th.
That's too long to wait!
Oh, please. We still... Okay, so that's too long to wait. Well, we have something to tide you over. You and I still have to go over the original 6-issue miniseries, Batman TMNT, that they kicked off.
That was good, but I think I'm going to enjoy this more.
Yeah, well, we can do that first, and then we can do this, and it'll be, it'll be all right.
I'm looking at that illustration that they have for it. It's beautiful. But those turtles, it looks like the universe Batman's going to pop into is the Nickelodeon animated series.
That does not surprise me, and actually, I'm all for it, honestly, because you're taking... See, Batman TMNT, the 6-issue miniseries that just ended a little while ago, that we still have to review, that was a complete DC IDW standalone that stood outside of the DC Comics Batman universe and outside of our beloved IDW universe here. What they're doing is they're taking the classic, Batman series from almost 25... next year is 25 years since Batman animated series. Holy shit. They're taking the original Batman animated series stuff, combining it with Nick from 2014, and I think it's going to be cool.
Yep.
I think it's going to be cool as crap.
And then I want to see an animated show of it.
Oh, it's only... As long as Kevin Conroy and Lauren Lester are Batman and Robin and Mark Hamill is the Joker, I am fine with that. So as I said, folks, here in the pull bag, as I said last time, on the gem issue that Amy and Nicole and I did, I kind of need a break. I've been doing comics for the pull bag for 4 years now. I haven't really put the show on hiatus at all in 4 years. If anything, I've been more ambitious to do stuff. Thank you to everyone who has listened, who has commented, who has left us iTunes reviews. I very much appreciate it. We all very much appreciate it. I, myself, Joe, everybody else that's hosted on here with me. But this will be, for now, the final episode of the Pull Bag. And we will come back at some point, maybe September or October. So right now, this is the middle of July. So, we're going to take just a couple of months off. Because I've got a bunch of other stuff I'm doing and working on, and just... every now and then I need to change my focus, and right now my focus is, I didn't intend for this to be a daily blog, but it has kind of turned out to be a daily blog. I've started a new staff blog over at GeekCastRadio.com called From the Desk of TFU and Mike, where I talk about geeky stuff, but it's more so like positive personal stuff. The 2 posts as of this recording that I have online are one about lending a helping hand or being helpful to others, and the other one is about, it's actually a repost from my personal blog, 1 year later, Changes of a Lifetime, basically just kind of giving people insight to my story over the last year since my mom passed away. So that's what's going on with me. Of course, Joe is going to be back with me for Batman TMNT and all the other TMNT goodness. We're going to be doing, you guys can go back and check this out, because as I said, this episode won't air for a couple of weeks, but go back and check out Talking About My Generation, episode 4, where Doug and I have Joe on and we talk about all kinds of geeky stuff and everything else, so you can check that out. Where can the people... Are you doing a Christmas sale?
We're doing an end of the summer geek sale in, I think it's the second weekend of September. But of course, the way to find out is to go to facebook.com/GeekStuff Garage Sale, and that gets all of your up-to-date information.
Awesome. All right, folks, you can find me on Twitter at TFG1Mike. You can follow at GeekCast Radio for all the other network updates. You can also follow The Pullbag at The Pullbag on Twitter. Also, go over to Facebook and like us. It's facebook.com/The Pullbag. It's also facebook.com/GeekCast Radio Network. And as always, make your great escape to comics, and we will see you in either late September or early October. Catch you next time. What? No woot?
I had it in my head, and then I was just thinking, like,
I'm sitting here waiting.
Another one bites the dust in my head is what was about to pop out of my mouth. But the fact that you said not a woot, it like, dang it, I was gonna say that. I didn't realize that was a thing that I did that you looked for.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullbag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.